students, you're all welcome to today's class, and I remain your basic science teacher, Teacher Lynda. And today our topic will be on resources from non-living things. We'll be focusing on soil. But before we go into other discussion on this topic, soil, we have to know our basic objectives. Our objectives for today is to define what soil is, know the components of soil, know the types of soil, and also know the uses of soil. What is soil? Soil is the topmost part of the earth's crust that is useful to human beings for their activity. Not just human beings, but useful to both living things and also the non-living things. And we have the components of soil. When I say components of soil, I mean what soil comprises of, or what soil is made up of. And soil is made up of different particles, such as the humus, which is a decayed substance from dead matter. Dead matter means that decayed plants and also decayed animal that decompose on the soil and made it fertile for farming. Soil is also composed of the air too. Air makes up the soil. Likewise, the water we know about is also make up the soil. Then we have the clay and the silt. The silt is a very fine soil that is very soft. That's what silt is. And we also have other components of the soil too. We have the fine soil, the coarse soil, and also the stone. The fine sand is a soft sand that's very, very light and soft. It is more porous, allowing water to penetrate through it. And the coarse sand is the sand that have gravels, more like a big pores, a big stones, that's pebbles, that makes it up. And we have the stones, which you know, the big gravels or any stone you can imagine of. Then that will take us to the types of soil. We have three main types of soil, and they are the sandy soil, the clay soil, and the loamy soil. We'll take each and every one of them in bits. The sandy soil. The sandy soil contains mainly sand and silt. It contains mainly sand and silt. And it also is aerated. Aerated means that it allows oxygen to easily penetrate into it. And oxygen, by oxygen I mean allowing air to easily penetrate into it. It is also porous. Porous means that it has pores, by which when water penetrates, when you pour water into it, the water easily penetrates into the sand. It absorbs the water easily. It is not good for cultivation due to its porosity. And also, it has poor mineral that will help plants to grow very well. The loamy soil is a very nice soil that is good for cultivation. The reason is that loamy soil is made up of humus. I remember I told you that humus is what? The dead or decay matter of plant and animal. So because this animal and the plant decays on the soil, it makes it very fertile for cultivation, and that is when it forms or makes the soil to become a loamy soil. And it is the best soil for agricultural purposes. Then we go to the clay soil. The clay soil has more of the clay particles. Remember I told you that soil is composed of different components: the clay, the silt, water, air, and humus. So based on the clay soil comprises more on the clay. It doesn't have more of sand and silt, rather it has more of clay. And clay itself is an elastic soil that when water is being added on it can easily mix and also be drawn to form things made by potters. Then this clay soil retains water. Why? Because it is not porous. It doesn't have pores. It doesn't have holes. And this made it to easily make that it does not easily absorb the water. The water just is being retained on top of it without sinking into the soil. It is not well aerated. It doesn't allow air to penetrate into it easily. Sometimes you discover that the potter, the clay makers, the potters, whenever they want to mold soil, they do mix it with water. After mixing it with the water, they had to pound it. Why are they pounding it? Because air has not penetrated inside the soil. So the essence of pounding it is to now bring out the oxygen that is making it not to compress very well. Then also, the clay soil is not a good soil for cultivation. One is that it is clay, it has more of clay, and two is that it has no way to which air can easily penetrate into it. And another is that it does not contain humus, which is a dead decay matters. We have the uses of soil. You all can tell me what soil is used for. At least from the look around our environment, we know that soil has a paramount importance to both plants and animal. And we're going to look into some of the uses. One of the uses of soil is that it helps to produce food crop and cash crop. It's not as if the soil just sprouts or this crop prompt out from the soil. How it is done is that the crops are being planted on the soil and the plant grows to produce this food. And in the food we produce, we have the food crops and the cash crop. The food crops are the crops that are being planted and cultivated for our own personal consumption. While the cash crops are the crops that are planted for the purpose of making income. It is mostly planted in a commercial way. Soil is also useful because it provides us with raw material for manufacturing industry. Example, if for the garri industry, before the raw material is more of the cassava. And where do you get the cassava from? From the soil where it is being planted. The soil aid it to grow, and you're able to get the cassava, which is now used to be processed into garri, fufu, or any other cassava produce you can imagine of. We also know that soil is also useful because it helps to produce materials for export earning. Materials such as our rubber plants, the cocoa plants, the timber, and every other commercial plant you can think of, which we export out of our country to other countries that are of need of them. Soil is also useful for the grazing of livestock. Why do I say it's useful for the grazing of livestock? Because upon the soil is where the grasses grow, and these grasses is what helps the life or the cattle that goes there to feed, to be able to feed and be alive. So it helps to graze for the grazing of living or livestock. It is also useful for forestry. Forestry is the act of planting of trees on a particular piece of land or in an area. And in the purpose of planting these trees is not just for planting's sake, but one, for it to be able to release or create a balance in the environment in terms of exchange of oxygen between the plant and animal, because plants releases oxygen to the environment, of which we as human takes it in, or animal takes it in, and we release carbon that the plant also makes use of it. And also the forestry also aids in production of timbers that are used for timber construction or construction company, or even timber or furniture making factories. So you see that the soil is useful because upon the soil you plant all these things. Also, it is good for mining because under the earth or under the soil is where you get minerals. And the only way these minerals can be exploited or can be useful to we as individuals or as living or human being is by mining it out of the soil. So with this, I believe you understand what I have discussed on soil. I will get to pass my assignments online through the notes, and be sure you do the assignment. See you in our next class. Thank you.